We are in the people business. We just happen to sell cars. Gosh, we said that for a long time around here, but what does that really mean? Well, this is our attempt to bring out some of what that means in real-life stories of the people that make up this special company. My name's Joe Bullard, and I have the honor and the privilege of leading Joe Bullard Automotive right here in Mobile, Alabama, that is truly trying to make a difference one person at a time. Really, Ty? Easy to say, but are you seriously trying to do this or just saying this? I get it, and frankly, I think it's a fair thought. But come journey with us as we open up with these people and truly get to explore their humanness that makes them difference makers. We all have a story. I do, you do, we all do, and I'm just excited to share some of these with you. Okay, enough with the intro. Let's jump in.
Welcome back to JBTV. It's excited to be with you today. We have a special guest who I'm about to introduce in just a second. What we are doing here is obviously exploring people that work here at a little deeper level. Maybe something you didn't know about this person. Maybe something that we dig up here. Because really, I don't really know where we're going to go with this morning. So, but let's jump right in. We are talking to Alex. Now, I'm going to stop with Alex because I'm going to get this on official record. That I don't really know how to pronounce his last name. And so I'm going to ask, I'm going to go with Esquibel. I've heard, these are the ones I've heard. Esquibel, like I don't know. And so I'm going to let Alex, the human that has the last name, answer this question. Alex, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Alex Esquibel.
Esquibel.
Yeah.
Esquibel. Okay, y'all got that. All right.
Kevin always says it really funny, and it makes me laugh because anytime we go into like a setting where we're meeting somebody, Kevin, it's always just a little bit different, and depending on his inflection and like how excited it is, it changes just a little bit.
So Kevin tells your last name different about every time.
Yeah, about every time. And it cracks me up.
Do you know that he actually knows exactly how to say?
Like
your
I've
last
told
name?
him before, but I think he just gets in the zone, and it's over.
I mean, spell it for us.
Esquibel.
It's a different last name.
Yeah.
What is the origin of that? Like what is your, like, where does that go back to?
So I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So born and raised.
You know, before you finish,
Yeah.
Albuquerque, New Mexico is one of those places I've been flying a long time,
Yeah.
and I've never been to Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I always walk down those terminals, and I always see, like, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm like, wonder what that place is like, you know, but I've never been to Albuquerque, but there's a lot, it's a pretty big place, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so born and raised there. Mom, dad, and a little brother. Played soccer my entire life. Knew I wanted to and could play at the next level. So I played college soccer for 5 years.
Let me ask you that.
Yeah.
How did you know you could play at the next level?
Just the tournaments and stuff we would go to and the different coaches and just the relationships they had and going to different ID camps and stuff like that. It was always like, hey, you shouldn't stop at high school and club. You could
So they
pursue
told
something
you
further.
that?
Mm-hmm. So it was always a, hey, you have the opportunity to do more and that ability to do more, which is really cool.
So speaking of New Mexico, I've flown over New Mexico. I have been to Santa Fe, New Mexico when I was a kid. But flying over New Mexico, it's kind of a wide space, not a lot of dense places.
Black.
I mean, y'all had to travel pretty good ways to play soccer?
All the time. So it was you're either in Dallas, Nevada, Phoenix.
So you flying to these places to play soccer?
Driving. Oh, it was
from Albuquerque to Dallas. That is a haul.
12 hours. And
so your parents drove you all over the country?
Or you just get,
our group.
One of my best friends, his dad was our coach, and he's great. Him and I still have a great relationship. But it was always, if my mom couldn't make it, I'd jump in the car with him. We'd go. We would just ride. And him and
so you played soccer your whole life?
Oh, ever since I was about 6.
And so at one point you knew you wanted to play at the next level, which meant collegiate.
Correct.
And so pick up there where we left off.
So collegiately, I started talking to schools end of my junior year, getting really interested because my junior year we had won a state title. We were ranked 20th in the nation at that point. Came off a really good year. Started looking at schools in California, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, and here in Mobile. So I came for a visit to the University of Mobile. They were always really competitive, had a good squad. A couple guys got drafted from there. Obviously, I knew I was never going to get drafted, right? Like you just.
Well, why? You just knew you weren't that.
Yeah, there's a different level when you get to that, and you're just like, okay, I know I'm not going to get there. And
so let's worry about the college experience.
Exactly. And so came to Mobile, fell in love with the coach and the program and what they were doing. Funny enough, on my recruiting trip, it was Super Bowl weekend, so I come and stay with the guys, hang out Sunday night. It's great. So I'm the guy coming in to recruit, whatever. They're joking with me, and they look at me and they go, Alex, we're getting up at 4:45 tomorrow. We're running 3 miles because we got in trouble. I'm like, you guys are just messing with me, right? Like trying to scare me, and I'm like, no, we're not. You guys are just messing with me. No, we got up at 4:30, pouring rain, and we run 3 miles at 5 a.m. because they had gotten in trouble.
But I thought you were a recruit.
Oh, I was.
Well,
Coach is like,
that's supposed to be like a joy. Like they're like
Oh.
supposed to like you, and then you become like a team member, and that's when the
no.
hell starts.
oh no, the coach is like, let's go. You're in it. I was like, okay, I guess I'm here.
4:30 in the morning after the Super Bowl.
Like, yeah, like we're going. I was like, great.
You just ran.
Slept on a couch, horrible. Had to run, not a lot of fun. So did that. Fell in love with the coach though. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to be here. So came here, played for 5 years. Got my undergrad in business administration, my master's, or my undergrad in marketing, master's in business administration. Funny enough, my sophomore year, I did the same thing to my foot you did.
Oh yeah.
So I was
Liz
on,
Frank injury.
Yeah, so I was on crutches for 10 months. And to hold my foot, because they said it was one of the worst ones, I have 2 buttons, 2 Kevlar ropes, a screw, and a pulley, still in my foot, just because it was so bad.
I can relate to that.
Yeah,
Gosh,
it was horrible.
that is not good memories though.
Oh, the worst. Just horrible.
What? And so just to clarify, tell us exactly what you do here at the company.
So I came here after I graduated college, talked to Todd Greer a lot, and he said, go interview with Joe Bullard, because I always told him I want to be for a good people company.
Yeah.
He told me Joe Bullard, started doing my research. I said, not just no, but heck no. Am I going to go work at a car dealership? I did not just get 2 degrees in 5 years to go work at a car dealership. You were out of your mind. He said, just trust me. I said, okay. Kevin Dean, funny enough, fell in love with Bullard.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought, it was a Lord thing, like, hey, you need to be here. Said, okay. Started out selling cars at Cadillac. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of fun. It was a really good time. So COVID came, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I were actually on our honeymoon when everything started to shut down. So I was like, okay, we're going to get stuck here, and I don't know how we're going to get home.
Where were y'all?
St. Lucia.
Okay.
So,
Pretty.
Yeah, gorgeous, but like, how are we going to get home?
Mm-hmm.
We're about to be stuck. So came back, and then I believe it was October of 2020, you and Kevin kind of pitched the idea to me of, hey, we don't have anything that kind of covers the whole company when it comes to bringing people on board and recruiting. And I said, oh, awesome, let's do it. So January 1st of 2021, I started doing this.
It's over 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's almost 3.5 years.
now I'm the director of recruiting and engagement. So I find all of our employees, all of our people. And Kevin and I always say we're building the plane in the air. So if we don't like something, it's, hey, let's scrap it and try it again. And I think that freedom from you and Kevin has given me the ability to really get good at this.
Yeah.
And not be afraid to go, hey, I think this may work. And we go, all right, too much in. This is horrible. Let's scrap it and try something else. So that has really given me a freedom to get better at what I do and really excel at it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Want to go back to something. College athlete. I mean, it is a different level than high school athletics.
Correct.
I never played collegiate athletics. I did intramurals, which is highly different. But collegiate athletes, like, there's a certain level of commitment, dedication. Obviously, as you say, 4:30 running on that morning. What do you think you've taken into your career that you learned in collegiate athletics?
That in order to be successful, you have to do the things behind closed doors that you may never know about, you may never see, in order to be successful, right? The nitty-gritty, ugly stuff that no one wants to talk about, right? Of calling people and going, hey, you didn't get the job. That is so uncomfortable, and I've been doing it 4 years at this point, and I still hate doing that part because someone came to us trying to get a job, trying to provide for themselves, for their family, and being able to get better and do that part is something that no one likes to do, but you got to do it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Why?
Because that's what makes you better. And that's, I take the pride in, I want people to look at Bullard when they come here and go, hey, they gave me a fair shot. They communicated with me the entire time, and whether I got the position or not, I knew.
Yeah.
So once I jumped in here, I started getting on, all the crazy Reddit stuff, all the, like, diving into recruiting and what it is. And so many of the Reddit posts are people going, I never heard back. I never want that to happen. That is my biggest concern, that someone will go, I never heard back. And I go, no. We told you, and we said, hey, we appreciate you coming in, but it's just not the fit.
Yeah, that's such a good thought. It makes so much sense because we have not before Alex, before this department. We were horrible. And it wasn't necessarily intentionally bad about it, but it was probably more, sales managers and service managers were doing so much on their plate, and hiring is one little piece of it, and they just didn't have the time and thought to call and, hey, they were just happy they hired somebody,
Yeah.
much less the 4 people they didn't hire.
Exactly.
But what a great point but it's still uncomfortable.
Oh, it's
like to
so
call
uncomfortable.
somebody and say, hey, man, I appreciate,
Yeah.
you applying, but we just went another direction. Like, it's still not a fun phone call.
Oh, it never is.
But it's the right thing to do.
Oh, you have to,
Yeah.
because it gives that closure. And in an era now where we live, where people are so quick to go to social media or to post something on a group page, I never want that to be a bad reflection on Bullard.
Yeah.
Because I take that personally of like, okay, I failed big time.
Yeah.
And even if it's uncomfortable, hey, I'm going to do it. And right up until that person comes in, even for the interview, they and I have built a relationship because I reach out first via text.
Yeah.
Reach out to that person. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is the position you applied for. From that point, we talk a little bit, and then we set up a phone interview. From that phone interview, I'm sending them a questionnaire. The questionnaire is position specific about,
Whether it's a technician or salesperson or parts
salesperson,
person. Yeah,
service
I got you.
BDC,
Yeah.
service advisor,
Yeah.
and it dives into more questions about. For a service advisor, for example, what's your current ELR, hours per RO, things like that, and I ask some harder questions in there of what do you do if that conversation we were having earlier, if that customer comes in, we fumbled and we need to have that rough conversation, how do you handle that? I ask that in the questionnaire, and if you type a 1-sentence answer, I'm like, you're not for us.
Yeah.
Because I take that just as seriously as I do the in-person interview. Because if you can't take 10 or 15 minutes to fill out this questionnaire that is literally 15 questions, how am I going to trust you to call the lady who's frustrated and go, hey, Miss Smith, you've got a $7,000 repair bill and we need to get it fixed, if you can't fill out the questionnaire, in my mind.
Yeah. What's your biggest, few more seconds, what's your biggest challenge in your role right now, you would say?
Finding people that have the work ethic to do the uncomfortable things.
Yeah, that's a generational thing a little bit.
It has to be.
I mean, you're seeing it. It's it is a little bit of work ethic.
Oh, it is, without a doubt. And it's
Like putting in the work.
I want it now, but I don't want to put the effort.
It's so funny. I was sitting in a football game the other day, sitting next to some parents, and they had their college kid that was getting out of college. And this person says something that I stopped him and said no, but it was something like, I just want you to find a job you like. And I said, no, that is bad advice. Find a job and then work to something you like. Like, I think we're teaching, to me, and I'm obviously a little passionate about that, I think that's a little bit backwards. So, Alex, leave any thoughts with anybody here. Parting words, anything that we hadn't covered that you want to cover?
I would say own the box you're in. Kevin always says that, but that is, from the very minute things, time back into the college athlete thing, being early for your job, taking pride in that makes the difference, right? Doing the little things correctly, and you'll be amazed.
Control what you can control.
Exactly.
Own your box.
Exactly.
That's good stuff. Alex, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Todd.
what you do.
Yeah.
And go on this journey. It's been an adventure. 3.5 years in, we thought maybe it wouldn't last 6 months. So good job for doing
Thank you.
that. So,
I appreciate it. It's
awesome.
fun.
Great being with you.
Yeah.
Till next time, guys.